Good evening, everybody. It's your favorite aspiring classicist here, a wandering author, reminding you that we are all the authors of our own lives. As always, my message remains the same. Spend less, live more, earn your freedom with frugality. And today, we're talking about deliberative excellence, which is really a type of correctness in thinking, but it's a very specific type. So let's see what Aristotle has to say about it. Well, he opens the chapter by saying, "We ought also to ascertain the nature of deliberative excellence, and to discover whether it is a species of knowledge, or of opinion, or skill in conjecture, or something different from these in kind. Now, it is not knowledge, for men do not investigate matters about which they know, whereas deliberative excellence is one form of deliberation, and deliberating implies investigating and calculating." So, this is a virtue associated with a very particular style of thinking. It's not skill of conjecture, which would be like a random guess, even if you're correct in that. This is a type of really planned, slow, methodical. If you've ever read the book by Daniel Kahneman, I think is the name, Thinking Fast, Thinking Slow, he talks about how there are two networks in the brain, the fast one and a slow one. Well, Aristotle's talking about the slow one in this. But deliberation is not the same as investigating. It is the investigation of a particular subject. Nor yet is it skill in conjecture, for this operates without conscious calculation, and rapidly, whereas deliberating takes a long time, and there is a proverb that execution should be swift, but deliberation slow. So it's not conjecture, which would be like throwing out a random guess. If you've got skill in that, you might guess correctly a lot of the times, but he's talking about the slow, methodical, planned thinking. Again, deliberative excellence is not the same as quickness of mind, which is a form of skill and conjecture. Nor yet is deliberative excellence any form of opinion. But inasmuch as the bad deliberator makes mistakes, and a good deliberator deliberates correctly, it is clear that deliberative excellence is some form of correctness. So deliberative excellence is a type of correct thinking, but what kind exactly? Though it is not correctness of knowledge, nor of opinion, correctness cannot be predicated of knowledge, any more than can error and correctness of opinion as truth. It remains, therefore, that deliberative excellence is correctness in thinking, for thought has not reached the stage of affirmation. So let me repeat that one, because that's really how he defines it. And it's right here, the first part of the quote. It remains, therefore, that deliberative excellence is correctness in thinking, for thought has not reached the stage of affirmation. And then he goes on and he says, "For opinion has passed beyond the stage of investigation, and is a form of affirmation, whereas a man deliberating, whether he deliberates well or badly, is investigating and calculating something." So if you're deliberating, then you're thinking. But deliberative excellence is a form of correctness in deliberation. However, correctness in this connection is ambiguous, and plainly it is not every kind of correctness in deliberation that constitutes deliberative excellence. So what kinds are not? What kinds of thinking aren't good, or deliberative excellence? A man of deficient self-restraint, or a bad man, may as a result of calculation arrive at the object he proposes as the right thing to do. So a bad guy might come up with like a way to do something that he wants to do. So he will have deliberated correctly, although he will have gained something extremely evil. So, whereas to have deliberated well is thought to be a good thing. Therefore, it is this kind of correctness in deliberation that is deliberative excellence. Namely, being correct in the sense of arriving at something good. So deliberative excellence is our ability to think through things methodically, slowly, and arrive at a good, conclusion. But it is possible to arrive at a good conclusion, as well as a bad one, by a false process of reasoning. One may arrive at what is the right thing to do, but not arrive at it on the right grounds, but by means of the wrong middle term. This quality, then, which leads one to arrive at the right conclusion, but not on the right grounds, is still not deliberative excellence. Again, one man may arrive at the right conclusion by prolonged deliberation, while another may do so quickly. The former case also, then, does not amount to deliberative excellence. This is correctness of deliberation as regards what is advantageous, arriving at the right conclusion or the right grounds at the right time. Again, a man can be said to have deliberated well either generally or in reference to a particular end. Deliberative excellence in general is therefore that which leads to correct results with reference to the end in general. If, therefore, to have deliberated well is a characteristic of a prudent man, deliberative excellence must be correctness of deliberation with regard to what is expedient as a means to the end, a truth of which constitutes prudence. So prudent people, which we've gone over prudence, it's a type of practical wisdom, generally have some deliberative excellence. And yeah, that right there is the end of that chapter. That's chapter 9 of Aristotle's book 6, where he discusses the intellectual virtues. Next, we've got a shorter chapter where we go over understanding, and we're pretty close to the end of chapter of book 6, but we'll have this done by the end of the week. Anyways, this is a wandering author here reminding you that we are all the authors of our own lives. As always, my message remains the same: spend less, live more. What are y'all doing in order to inspire, uplift, and empower your local community today? Because this world isn't changing unless we all do our part, and you can count on me to do mine daily. Till next time, love y'all.